Walk into any bar serving cocktails in the Soviet Union, but if you ask simply for a cocktail, this is typically what they would serve you. That's fantastic. A classic champagne cobbler for the Soviets starts, with all things, with some cognac. Not, however, cognac as we might understand it. No, this is good Soviet cognac. Cognac or brandy from Armenia. The closest I could get geographically at the very least was some Asbach, some German brandy in West Germany. So, you know, we're not a million miles away. We're going to start with 20 milliliters of good old Soviet cognac. Well, not Soviet cognac, German brandy in this case, but, you know. Next is something called Yuzhny liqueur. Yuzhny translates to southern. Throughout the breadth of my research, I did find that Curacao did actually seem to be the closest thing to what Yuzhny could be, certainly what they were aiming for, I think. We are going to need 30 mils of Yuzhny or Curacao. Next ingredient, very easy. We are going to need 15 mils of simple syrup. We are going to need just 15 mils of some freshly squeezed lemon juice. Interesting thing about the Soviet Union is they found it very difficult to import and keep citrus, so they actually developed quite an ingenious method of growing their own citrus, even in some of the coldest regions. So it's not unlikely that the lemons that bartenders and chefs would have had access to in the Soviet Union would have actually been from the northern Arctic regions of Russia, if you can believe it. I'm going to take my cocktail and I'm just going to dump it into the glass. Now, what it also calls for is some canned fruit. Some of these old sources were annoyingly vague. I can assume they meant literally whatever you can get their hands on, and they weren't exactly living in abundance during that time either. Canned berries were mainly what they were going for. So I'm just going to fish out a couple of these neon cherries from this thing of canned fruit. And also, I think a couple of Amarena cherries as well will go really, really nice in here. I think some mint is really going to complete the look. And last, but certainly not least, some good Soviet champagne. Probably just the cheapest sparkling wine from my local Tesco is probably going to be about roughly the same quality. Doing this on a budget for accuracy. And there we have it, a simple but surprisingly elegant Soviet champagne cobbler.